Canelo Alvarez will be fighting Jermell Charlo on September 30th, and quite a few pros are warning Canelo about Jermell. Floyd Mayweather doesn't have anything against Canelo personally, but he definitely thinks that age is going to play a factor in this fight. Floyd stated, "It's a lot of wear and tear. Boxing is a lot of wear and tear. You can get old overnight. You can, it's how boxing is. You look at these fighters. When I got fighters, we've got to be smart about this in the business. You don't ever want to say nothing to the athletic commission about certain fighters, their health, but their health is very important. So we have to start doing more research and more tests on these fighters if we genuinely care." Bernard Hopkins actually liked Jermell's chances against Canelo, and he thinks that he's got a high chance in winning this. Bernard stated, "Charlo has a legitimate chance. He has an 85% plus chance of beating Canelo. Why? Because to my understanding, he's not going in there to prove something, which would fall into Canelo's hands. But he's going to go in there and let him know, establish in the first round, that he belongs, he's tough, and he's going to show him that his time came and gone. Canelo has to be shown that he has slowed up. He ain't gonna surrender and think, I've slowed up so I'll act like it. He has to be shown, and that has to be early." Evander Holyfield also thinks that age will play a factor, but he thinks Jermell could pull off a victory if the fight goes the distance. Evander stated, "It should be a good fight. Both the fighters are good fighters. If it goes the distance, I think Charlo is going to win if it goes the distance. He's a good boxer with stamina. I've seen the kid ever since he was 13 years old because I was training in Houston, Texas at the time, and he's a good fighter. I know Canelo is a good fighter, but Canelo is a little older, and I'm telling you, it's time for the young to show the older guy. You stand out too long and somebody's going to get you. It's good to see how young people don't quit." Shakur Stevenson definitely sees Canelo as a tough opponent, but he wouldn't be surprised if Charlo comes away with the win.
I would not be shocked if Charlo beats him.
Really?
I would not be shocked. But it depends if Canelo could like walk him down without getting hurt or buzzed.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting to see.
Abel Sanchez thinks that Canelo will win, but he sees Jermell giving him a very hard time, especially earlier on in the rounds. Abel stated, "The first 4 or 5 rounds will be a little difficult for Canelo. Once he figures out the speed, it's going to be a fight like the plant fight. He'll wear him down. Jermell is an exceptional fighter and has been the busier of the two brothers. He will give Canelo some difficulty, but Canelo will still beat him." Adrien Broner likes Canelo, but he can't go against Jermell. Adrien stated, "I love Canelo, but I just can't go against Charlo. We ain't got the best relationship in the world, but I'm not going against my brother. I can't. I'm not doing it. It ain't going to ever happen, and I hope he wins, and I'm betting." Malik Scott definitely sees Canelo as the favorite, but he's not writing Jermell out just yet as he sees a lot of positive things in the fighter.
When the going gets tough and the tough get going, he always get tougher to me. I never see him break under pressure. And I think it's going to be a pivotal moment in the fight where he's going to feel something he's never felt before. But I think he could pass the test with flying colors. I truly, truly do. As stubborn as he come across outside the ring, I believe his genius is all inside the ring.
Calvin Ford definitely thinks that both fighters are coming in with something to prove, but he definitely didn't think that Canelo looked himself in recent fights. Calvin stated, "When you look at Canelo's last 3 performances, he didn't look like himself. Charlo has something to prove, and Canelo has something to prove. Does he still have the legs to continue doing what he's been doing to get him where he's at? Somebody is going to sleep." Johnny Nelson really thinks that Jermell will be able to pull off a win, and he's starting to see him as a favorite. Johnny stated, "Don't be surprised if Charlo is the guy that manages to pickpocket Canelo. Canelo is an outstanding fighter, another fighter who's not the fighter he was but still beats 98% of fighters in the world. Charlo, on the other hand, I'm starting to really favor him to pull it off. I think he has all the ingredients to do that." Oscar De La Hoya thinks that he knows the key to Jermell beating Canelo, though. Oscar stated, "Any style that you give Canelo that is similar to Bivol, he's going to have trouble with. Anyone that stays on their toes, anyone that flicks a jab in front of his face, anyone that knows how to keep their distance like Bivol did, Canelo will have trouble. That's the bottom line. Again, he walks on quicksand. That's what his style is. It worked for him all these years. He's become accustomed to knocking his opponents out and walking them down with a lot of power. Anyone that tries to box him and has that same similar style as Bivol, he's gonna have trouble with. Interestingly enough, Keith Thurman also thinks that Jermell should copy this technique. Keith stated, "Watch how Bivol beat him. There was a special combo that Bivol threw that kept Canelo at bay, especially when Canelo was on the ropes. It was the 1, the 2, and the 1. That's what people forget sometimes. When you want to maximize distance, you bop, bop, boom, and then he kept doing that retreat thing. Bop, bop, boom, and then he would step back and keep his left hand up high. Bivol looked cut, shredded, ready to fight. He looked very pathetic, and Canelo still looked very heavy. So that's the problem in moving up. I don't mind fighters moving up. I always encourage them to keep their athleticism and don't be afraid to be the smaller guy in the ring." Jermell seems to understand that Bivol had something on Canelo, and it looks like he's already looking to capitalize on that.
I want to win. I want to convincingly win this fight. He lost to Bivol, and for some odd reason, that win didn't capitalize for, but a win would, for me, would make a big difference.
Leonard Ellerby thinks that Canelo has a lot to prove in this fight, and he feels as though he's got a big challenge with facing someone like Jermell. Leonard stated, "People are kind of saying, oh, he's lost a step. I think with this fight here, he's going to lay it on the line. He's coming off an injury. He says he's 100%, and I think we're going to see the best version of where he's at right now in him. He's got a tough task with Jermell Charlo. Jermell is hungry. There are many people who aren't giving Jermell a chance, which I think is the toughest crap ever. Jermell does a lot of things well, and one of his best attributes is his confidence. One thing you talk about with Jermell Charlo is he's a winner. That's the first thing you got to say. We've seen him come from behind in fights. In these situations, you have to expect that he's going to bring it." Jermell isn't letting any of the talk from Canelo get to him, and he thinks there's a clear difference when it comes to how one would rate their experience.
Canelo said at the press conference, "My experience and my power will be the difference in this fight." What do you think about that?
And I can say my speed and my power will be the difference. I got experience. I'm not new to this game. That's a problem in boxing. The secret is that I've been a professional since 07. At 17, I think he turned pro at 15. I mean, 2 years of experience? If we're gonna make a debate about that, of course he has a lot more fights, because when you fight in Mexico, you can fight every weekend, and I don't know the commissioner system out there, but it's cool, let them believe what they want, but they gonna sleep on the fact that I got a lot of experience in the ring. I fought a lot in the amateurs, and I fought a lot as a professional, and I'm ready for that.
Gary Russell isn't too keen on Jermell's chances, but he doesn't want to count him out just yet. Gary stated, "He's got a puncher's chance, but Canelo, he's the man. I like Canelo a lot, and I like Charlo a lot. Charlo is bringing more to the table, but Canelo, he's seasoned, very seasoned. A lot of the wars he's been in, they've done something to him psychologically to the point where I know this will always be simple. Simplicity is the key." After watching some recent sparring footage of Jermell practicing with his partner, George Foreman pointed out the way that Jermell is showing off is exactly how you should be doing it. George posted, "That's the way you showcase power. Never have to practice on a guy's head, body, and chest." If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.